Hi everyone, this is Rainer, Sue, and Jerry, the 3-year-old gelding. I'm back here in the round pen. We've just finished round penning, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we're going to do here. Now, I've only, as I said, ridden him a few times, so the Colt starting series is very much like the fundamentals that I demonstrated on the introduction video to this body control training video series. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the next steps here. Again, I'm going to just step outside of the round pen here for a minute. And again, when we do the first bunch of rides or I work with a new horse, I always do it in the round pen. And then I gradually move to the arena and then outside. So we're going to just come up here. And I'm going to show you, now you won't be able to see it right now because of the light from outside, but you will in a moment when I get it close here. So there, we'll go ahead and you can see, there we go, there's the Colt starting instructions, and then there's the groundwork stuff. And as we pan over here, you'll be able to see actually those are another banner full of groundwork exercises, because of course you want to be really safe before you get on them. And I'm going to pan over here, and this is again the riding part of it. And if you can see there, the first step says review all fundamental groundwork steps with the saddle. That's what I'm doing now. And if you look at these steps here, reviews, desensitize, slap and turn, review the 360, lunging, stirrup driving. I don't do the pick me up off the fence. That's something I don't do. Of course, I do the bridle, flex laterally. I don't tie them around to the hock. And then see first ride in the round pen, jumping up and down, partial mount up, flex laterally at a standstill, yielding the hindquarters, trotting and cantering circles. I just wanted to show you that because I am going to go ahead now off camera, because I am going to do individual videos for that. But what I wanted to show you in this video, and I'm just going to go ahead here slowly and pan around so you can see that Jerry is in the round pen again there, just waiting for me. I am going to go ahead and do the desensitizing from the ground, jump up and down. I do what I call side driving. I'm going to do a bunch of that groundwork now, and then I'm going to go ahead and I will get on him and ride him. And that's the point that I will then, turn the camera back on. Oh, so he's a little impatient there, so hey, I think I'm going to give him something to do. He's obviously wanting something to do, so, as the old saying goes, if they've got energy to do the wrong thing, they got the energy to do the right thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll pause the camera, set it up, and then when I've done all the groundwork stuff to get ready to get on him, I'll turn the camera on and I'll get on him and do a first ride, and then I'll do individual videos on that desensitizing stuff in the future. So, okay, so we'll go ahead here and I'll pause the video, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so here we are back again. I've done some desensitizing and stuff, and I'm ready now to get on Jerry here. He's not used to me. I'm actually kind of on my knees right now so I can be in focus for the camera here. So we've been working off camera, and I've been doing some desensitizing, saddle slapping. I do a lot of partial mount up. My Colt starting program is customized for me. I'm a lot shorter and smaller than Clinton Anderson, and he has an assistant to work with, and I don't. So one of the big things that I do is I have a camera with me, a cell phone. I put it in one of these little fanny packs, and I wear it with me, and I also phone a neighbor of mine. I let him know when I'm about ready to get on and approximately what time I'm going to get off, and that he's to expect a phone call at that time. And if he doesn't get it, then he basically comes running. Have I had to do that before? Yes, I have, actually a few times in the past when I was training customers' horses. I did have a few incidences in which he did have to come, and unfortunately, due to horses who had quite a few issues and baggage, I never did it with a Colt starting. It was always with horses that came into me, because I basically did Colt starting, 30-day tune-ups, and problem solving. A lot of problem solving. And these horses in particular were pretty messed up in the head, to put it straight. And I, of course, did as much safety as I could. Of course, never bad enough that I was knocked out or anything. But I have busted a bunch of ribs. a bunch of times in the past, and he's taken me to the hospital. So again, you have to be very careful. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and the other thing, speaking of being careful, I have my helmet. Now I use a helmet in this case when I do colt starting. When I used to have customers' horses. Until I really could trust them and get to know them. And as I said, a lot of them came to me with issues, so I always wore the helmet then. And of course, my resales until I get to know them, like the 8-year-old mare, I've had her now since last September. This guy too, but I started him last fall. And he's still fairly green. I didn't do any work over the winter time. So I don't need to use the helmet for her, in my opinion, and I certainly don't for my retired champion reining mares. I am more at risk getting in my vehicle and getting hit by some idiot on the road going into town than I do riding them. So, again, it's all about managing your risk. And to me, I don't need to wear it for my reining mares. I think it's kind of an insult to them and me. But with this guy, I do. I mean, and I won't, for him, need to wear it long because he's so good-minded, but I will wear it probably for his first, well, it all depends, you know, how long, first 90 days or whatever, but I will do this. So I'm going to go ahead now and pause the camera again, and I'm going to put my fanny pack on and make my phone call and put my helmet on, and then get ready to get on him. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we are back again. You can see I have my helmet on. I think I kind of look funny in a helmet, but it's for safety. So I have my helmet on, I have my phone, I've made my phone call, I'm ready to get up now, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. You can see the saddle I have, it's a small, light little barrel saddle. Until I get a bunch of rides on to make sure they're not going to roll or buck, or actually I've never had one buck in colt starting, but you never know. I just use this really cheap kind of barrel saddle, and you can see I have some safety stirrups here, big safety. I would never want my feet to get caught in there should I have things go south and I have to bail, so that's why I've got those oversized stirrups on there. I really like them. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get on. Hopefully we'll stay in camera view for you, and we'll do a little bit of walking around. Well, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a partial mount up, and I'm going to go ahead and do a mount up, and you can see. And what I do is I will go ahead and I do lateral flexion. I really like that idea. And I will, again, for colt starting. The great thing about lateral flexion or emergency one rein stop, it's a really good safety measure. You feel really confident, and you can get a hold of the horse, especially the ones that you're colt starting. He's not like that, but, you know, nonetheless, you can get their head bent around so that if they do get nervous or whatever, you can kind of get a hold of them. So you'll see that I will flex his head, I will do a partial mount up, and then I'll go ahead and mount up, and then I'll tell you from there. You won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear me from the camera, and you'll be able to see Jerry. So, okay, so we'll get started. So I'm going to go ahead here now, and I'm going to flex him. You can see I flexed him, and I'm going to hold his head here. Well, hopefully we'll stay in camera. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now and do a partial mount up. I'm just checking to see. Okay, so he's gotten out of camera view, so I'm going to move him up here. Look on, Jerry. He's gotten out of camera view here, so I'm just doing it. I'm going to do it from this side, actually. I always work on both sides. I'm going to do it from this side so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him to flex laterally and just... Still there, Jerry? No, I can't do that, hold his face and get on him at the same time, so I do have to let him go. I used to be able to do it, but I'm not as flexible anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and put my foot in the stirrup. Flex his face there, you can see it, and I'm going to go ahead and do a partial mount up. So here's a partial mount up, and I'm going to hold his head all the time. And I do that for the first bunch of rides, and then after that I don't have to do it as much. But I do expect them to stand still, and I go ahead and rub them. So on the off-camera stuff I did before, I did this quite a few times. Up and down, going around, up and down, going around, just to make sure that he was nice and calm and accepting like he is now. And things even though he's bobbing his head a little bit, he's standing nice and quiet. So see, he's kind of moving his head a little bit, so I won't swing my leg yet and mount up. I could right now, which I will. So we'll go ahead and I'll swing over. And on the more nervous horses, I would not put my foot in the stirrup. In case, again, you have to bail. There's nothing wrong with that. And now, here's one of the important things I do. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot stand a horse walking off when I sit on them. I think it's rude. And I think it's a safety hazard. So one of the things I do is when I first get on them, I'll, like you do in the Clinton Anderson program, I'll flex them back and forth. Hold still there, Jerry. I'll flex them back and forth. And I'll go ahead, because his head is forward, I'll go ahead and flex them. Good boy. And I'll just go ahead and do this a bunch of times till I think they're ready. And they're listening. See, he just focused somewhere else. So, of course, he kind of blew me off. So that means I'm going to go ahead and, the best way to fix that is just ask them to flex. It's a perfect thing. And so this right away is how I teach horses to stand when you first get on them. Like I said, I can't stand when they do that. And he's moving around just a tiny little bit there. That was just to adjust his balance. And that's okay. Especially with these young horses. A little bit of a back view there. Hold still there, Jerry. So he's kind of spinning around, just asking there. There we go. Good boy there, Jerry. Okay, so now I am going to ask him to go because he's nice and quiet and he's listening. Actually, he's kind of bored. And I will go ahead. I will put my foot in the stirrup. I'm not too worried. And I'm going to go ahead and I will walk him around. I will do a fair bit just to check my brakes, which is a flex to a stop. My clucking cues, in other words, my gas pedal. So I will go around in the pen. I'm not going to be too worried about steering at this point. If I can, I certainly will. But right now, I'm really going to work on checking my brakes and my clucking, my gas pedal. And so we'll start with that first. And then when I start checking a little bit of steering, I'll let you know. So, walk on there, Jerry. Walk on, Jerry. So here we are. I have exactly... He already knows all my groundwork. Walk on there, Jerry. He already knows about, walk on, Jerry. He already knows about steering and stopping and clucking. Now this is very typical there where he didn't really want to move. And in fact, if I really had him where he was stuck and he didn't want to go, then I would get off and lunge him some more to get that forward motion in there. There we go. Now he's moving out. Good. So again, he already knows, from the ground, I've already taught him how to stop, how to go, how to steer, how to back up, how to turn. I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to turn him towards you. So again, he's a Western horse, and I teach neck reining right from the beginning, like right now. Actually, even from the ground. Of course, hold on there, Jerry. He doesn't know what the neck rein means. So I follow it up with the direct rein, and I wean them off the direct rein as quickly as I can. We're just going off camera view here. So I'll tell you that we're going around the edge of the pen here. Hold on, Mister. Like I said, I had a few rides on him last fall, but I don't do any riding in the wintertime. So, I have been working him now for a little bit because he is for sale again. So, but this actually is the first time I've gotten on him again since last year. So you can see, whoa. Now I said whoa because I like voice cues because I want to work towards going no-handed or bridleless. And you do that with voice cues. Good boy. And he flex. That's my stopping mechanism. It's really good later on for headsets and collection and lateral work, the body control. That's why I like to do it. And again, he's 3. So with a lot of these horses, when you're colt starting them, you do have to kind of pause a little bit more in between. But again, that doesn't last too long, and then it will go ahead and move out. So I'll ask him to go again. So again, I'm not too worried about him picking up his head, but he did already. Flexing vertically there, that's nice. Walk on, Jerry. Good boy. That was perfect there. I hope it was on camera. So again, in Western riding, even though I train, with reining techniques, and for reining, we're out of camera here, but to tell you, you can hear me. We start off two-handed, as I said. I always, right from the beginning, lay the neck rein on. Of course, you don't have any idea at the beginning what it means, and I follow up with the direct rein, and then try to wing them off the direct rein as soon as I can. I'm going to turn here a bit. There we go. See? Right from there. Oh, he's a little bit nervous about something, and that's okay. I can kind of get a hold of him here, and I have flexed him to a stop. He knows what that means. And you just pause there. Oh, I'm going to use the opportunity to pause. There must be something outside. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flex him to this side, and I am going to get off. I do that a lot within the first bunch of rides. I will get off and on a lot in order to give them practice about mounting and dismounting. Actually, he wants to keep going, so again, I'm going to use the opportunity. Hold on here, Jerry. He's kind of nervous about something out the back. I think my dogs are out the back. I've left them outside. Hold on here, Jerry. So, again, right now, it's sort of like in the cruising lesson. If he wants to turn, I'll just go ahead and I'll work with him. So I'll put the cues, leg cues, voice cues, body cues, rein cues. I'll give him the cues. He's doing the turning on his own, but I'm doing the cues so that he will start to associate, and then later I'll put the cues on him, and then he'll do the turn. If that makes sense. So in other words, I'm doing, I guess I'll call it cue association. Anyway, so this is our first ride in 10, you can see. And I'll do the first, now as soon as he's comfortable, we're off camera here, we're coming here. There we go. But as soon as he's comfortable, whoa. As soon as he's comfortable, like this, you know, at the walk, in the round pen, then I'll go into the arena, right? In other words, I'm going to move it right along. I'm used to competitive-based training where we've got a deadline to get a horse ready to show. So I do kind of think along that line. So as long as they're ready, I can do that. So, you know, we can certainly walk, you know, out in the main pen here. But trotting for the first time would be in here. And the same thing with loping. And then, but as soon as I can, as soon as their balance is okay a bit with it, I'll be in the main pen. And then when they're comfortable with that, because I really like the fact that all horses should trail ride. Maybe do more. Like I think he might be good on cattle as well. I like to do that as well. So, you know, I kind of get them out there, and within the first or second ride, I'm already trail riding them from the arena to the barn. They're 75 feet there. Anyway, so there's my first riding session. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead here now, and I'm going to dismount. And so again, I'm letting him know I'm getting off here. So I'm going to dismount. And then, he's so used to this by now. I have been on and off him, you know, not really ad nauseum, but I have been on and off him many, many times. So he really doesn't care about me getting off and on him from either side, because I really believe in working both sides. So anyway, so yeah, so he did really good. Hope you enjoyed that video. And like I said, I will do individual videos from that other groundwork, you know, like the saddle slapping and all that other stuff I did off camera before I got on. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. And this is Jerry. So you can see, this is how I like them. I really don't, you know, I like them nice and calm. And I really like the Snowbuck program. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.